Real
All right,
stories
welcome
and
to
fresh
another
wisdom on the
episode of
front
Wisdom
porch.
on the Front
Join us with
Porch. And
today's
today we
guest.
have Andre Paradis with us. If I said your name wrong, please forgive me.
Okay,
I love the painting behind you. I
thank
just
you.
did a little post of a couple dancing on a mountaintop.
Uh,
But
Better view. Look at
yeah,
that. Look at that.
oh, that's just beautiful. I love that. There's just so much motion and fluidity there. I love it when paintings come alive.
My wife and I dancing. That's what that is.
Oh, that's nice. So I actually did a podcast with you before, but either I forgot to press record, which I remembered today, or something. So I wish this was our second one for everybody to see. Um, but you have such great information. I love your heart for people, and you have a different approach to it, which is great because sometimes everybody comes at things the same way, and it's like it doesn't work for one person or another. So tell our audience just a little bit about who you are and what you do. Sorry, I'm still got a little bit of some kind of brain damage, something happening. It's still healing up from when the bull hit me.
Oh, no worries.
But go ahead, Andre.
So my name is Andre Paradis. I'm Canadian, born in Quebec City, Canada. But I'm a relationship coach and NLP practitioner. That's how I help people with their trauma release. An educator of effective communication strategies. It's always a mouthful. So my job is really my favorite thing to do is to help men and women in relationships. Men, women is all the same, by the way. So like, how do you get in a long-term, healthy, flowy relationship for 30 years plus, right? So people are struggling with this a lot, and there's really good reasons for this, right? But on paper, we don't understand. And considering also we communicate differently, and with the cultural pace out there, the pulse of softening men, empowering women, which is great. Again, on paper sounds good, and it works for money and business and career. It doesn't work in relationships, and that's the part that everyone's confused and tripping on because it should be better. It should work better. We finally soften the men and empower the women. Now we have equal playing field. You know what I mean? It sounds right. It seems right. It should. It doesn't work.
No.
And it confuses everybody. And everyone is more confused because it should work. You know what I mean? So that's my work, is to really help alleviate the confusion, the frustration, all this stuff that comes in because we don't understand each other and we
Right.
don't communicate together in a way that actually we hear each other. And then from there, it goes left and right and up and down. And yeah,
And I like what you said that it's not just, between men and women. It can be between men and men or women and
it's
women.
all the same. It's
Yeah.
all the same.
Yeah.
It's
It's
all the
just
same.
communication and learning
Well,
how to do it. I know with my husband and I, we say the exact same things, but we have two different ways of saying it. So to us, it seems like we're not hearing each other. And
right.
we've had to work on that. And it's weird because we will know what each other is thinking. We finish each other's sentences, and we've done this from the first time we met. It's just been strange, but we still are in that thing of he's saying it this way, I'm saying it this way. It's the same thing, but we're saying it differently. And so, that causes conflict, and we don't want
Well,
conflict, but we
it's
can't
crazy.
ignore it either.
Yeah. Because, and we, again, another part we don't understand is that, as I say something, right, when I speak to my wife, what she hears is not what I said. And when she speaks to me, what I hear is not what she said. And it sounds
Yeah.
stupid. It sounds weird because, like, well, we look at each other,
Um,
I speak English, you understand the words come out of my mouth. Well, what we don't get is we have a filter. Both of us have a filter on how we
yeah.
receive information and process it. And so what she says is not what I'm hearing, even and to her it's so obvious. And if like how come, what's the collision? What's the miscommunication? I just, and vice versa. And again, this is so highly calibrated that we look at each other, we speak English, you hear the right, but we're not. We're literally filtering, and that's a huge part of it, right? And huge
Yes.
part of
Yes.
it. So
And it's not just between couples, it's also in business,
all of
between
it,
managers,
absolutely.
employers,
Yep.
employees, back
All
and
of it.
forth, whoever we're talking to. And, everybody has these disc prop programs. We have bank, we have all these personality things, which is great, but you still have to learn the art of communication And even though you're listening and you're trying your best to listen, sometimes you still don't hear because of the filter, like you're saying. So, what are some filter cleaning or filter clogging? I don't know which. How do you
No,
deal with that?
it's a big part of my work. Is so, and you know this because you know this because it'll make sense as soon as I say it, is that men tend to speak this again. When I say men and women, it's not 100%, by the way. You have to allow me the
Right,
generalizations, right? So, people will go, I don't think I do this. I don't think not everybody's like that. I'm like, I'm not talking about the odds. We're talking about the norm. So if we
right,
talk about the norms, typically men speak directly. They get to the point, they get to the point quickly. Communication is like, I need you to hear this, I need you to know this, and or here's the data you needed, right? It's typically data and passing on information. And or when we're together, we'll crack some jokes and make fun of each other that way. But it's one or the other typically. Right. So men speak directly, tell them they get to the point and they move on and they expect you to have heard them. But women speak indirectly,
hmm,
right? And you use tone of voice, innuendos and hints. And so for a woman, it's not what I say that she hears, is how I said it.
right,
Right. Women will say this. It's not what you said, it's the way you said it. I'm like, what the hell? What's that mean? Like, listen to the words I'm saying. What do you mean? Well, because tone has a lot to do with the communication. Like the tone will change the meaning of a phrase. I get that,
right.
right? But understand women speak through tones and hints and innuendos, and the words are irrelevant often. And they wonder why we don't get it because we're listening to the words, you're listening to the tone. So this is where the wheels come off. It is hysterical and terrible at the same time because like, and men will say, how many times have you heard it, guys? Say, just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Right? Like, and she's like, well, if you don't know, because she dropped hints for like 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a mind reader, and the hints
Got to
don't
be
make sense.
specific.
Right? The hints don't make sense. It'll go over my head. And then the tone thing is interesting too. Like, you know, if you raise your tone with a woman, she tends to shut down because there's something scary
Yeah.
about that. Right? Instinctually.
Or bullying. I don't want to
Right.
be
Well,
bullied, so don't raise your voice to me.
right. But also the tone instinctually has after men raise their voices, sometimes they raise their hands, right? This is all in our bodies. This is all like
Okay.
anthropological, right? So there's an instant kind of, oh God, where's this going? And so when the tone comes in that's harsh or hard or right, women shut right down. So now they're not hearing you. But the fact that I have a tone is because I felt or I'm sensing that I'm not being heard either. So I'm raising my voice. And this is the whole collapse of the whole thing, right? So I raise my voice because you're not hearing me, but as I raise my voice, you shut down completely because you can't hear me because now you're scared. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And women
And
do the same thing. You
yeah,
know, we feel
yeah.
like you're not hearing us, so
So
it's
you get
like we
louder.
start getting upset. We elevate it,
You
and
get louder,
yeah,
thinking that you want to be, and that's actually what doesn't work. That's exactly what
yeah,
doesn't work, but that's what we tend to kind of do and collide together and think the other one's a jerk now because I tried to tell him, I tried to tell her, and now right now we're in a fight. So it's so interestingly delicate and ridiculously simple and ridiculously tedious at the same time.
right.
So it takes some learning and some filtering, some seeing through the filters, right? So it's fascinating, fascinating. And I love teaching that stuff and really to help people stop colliding, in love dynamics, in their work relationships, with their family, with their children, all of that. It applies to everything. It's
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember first time I recognized that my husband and I were saying the same thing but speaking differently. My sister actually pointed it out. She goes, "You two are saying the same thing." And we were building the barn. It all had something to do with that. And she
Yeah.
goes, "You guys are saying the exact same thing to each other. You're just saying it in different words because you approach it from different points of view."
Yep.
And
Yep.
so perspective comes into play with that. So yeah, yeah,
It's just so common.
yeah,
It's so common. And again, it's fun to decode. It's fun to decode because really, it's like I said, it's five in my world. There's five things that men and women do completely differently that we have no concept of it. Really, have no
okay.
concept of it
I
to
got to
the
hear
point.
these five things if you can share them.
but it's like you understand that we are motivated by completely different things at our core, right?
Right.
What a man is attached to, what motivates us, what drives us, and you'll hear men say, she says she loves me, but she doesn't respect me. That's the core of a man. Like men will go. There's data on this, a lot of research on this, and the statistics. Men would rather feel unloved if they had the choice by their wives than feel disrespected. That's how huge it is.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So that's another thing. Women don't know this. Women do
Yeah.
not understand this, right? On the
Yeah,
other
because
side,
we don't understand the difference between love and respect. If I'm loving you, I'm respecting you. So how can I not be
there you
how
go.
can I be disrespecting you when I love you? That
Right. But
yeah,
get this. So a man cannot fall in love with a woman who's not respecting him. He can't do it,
right,
right? At the same time, a woman cannot fall in love with a man who doesn't cherish her.
right.
You see it? So
And I want
we
to
both
add
need
something to
both.
that too. Go
We
ahead.
both need both, but they occur backwards, and we don't know this. So at the core of us, on an instinctual level, if you don't respect the man, if you question him, if you try to mother him, you tell him what to do, you challenge his brain, what do you think that was? Did you think that was going to work? Right? Why did you do that, dumbass? Right? That's what comes behind it. Right? That's what a man is hearing. That's not what you're saying. But you
Right.
question a man, you mother him, you try to correct him, make him act right.
Yes.
You treat him like a child, right? Any
Yeah.
self-respecting male will have a huge reaction to this. He will
Oh
not
yeah.
stand for it for a second. You cannot overpower a man, especially from the feminine side. You can't
Right.
overpower a man. Period. Like no male will let you step on him, or another man step on him. Right. So from the
Right.
feminine, it's another like, what the heck? That's not your place. So women don't understand that. Like constantly disrespect us, and you don't know you're doing it because you're trying to help or you're just trying to make him think, but it's an instant, right? And so because also what disrespects us does not disrespect you. So that's a huge part of it that no one gets. On the other side, you ladies tend to take everything personally, not because you're crazy. It's anthropological as well. Like your connection
Right.
to people outside, your safety is in the connection. So if there's no connection or somebody, right?
Emotions.
So we constantly hurt your feelings. We don't mean to. We don't understand why. Like how? That's not what I said. That's not what I meant. That's not at all what I. No. Well, how'd you
Yeah.
get there? Right? Like we're constantly going. Like we're baffled by the way you take things personally and make some meanings out of stuff that we didn't do or say.
Right.
Right? So we constantly hurt your feelings. We don't know how. And to you, it's like it's so obvious. Oh my God! And every girl in the space knows exactly what he did was just crass. And he's like, I'm just talking here, right? So we hurt your feelings all the time. We don't mean it. You disrespect us all the time. You don't mean it. And we have no idea how to, that's what's happening. And often it creates distance, friction, anger, frustration, pain, and breakups because we don't know how that works. So that's really another fun layer of the things to learn.
Yeah, I think on three
Excuse me.
points now, but one is you have to understand that there is a problem. And if you're not willing to fix that, then, the breakups do come, but you can try and fix. The other thing is I've noticed over the years that a man cannot love a woman who does not respect herself. And sometimes men push those boundaries just to see how far away they can get with it. I know women do the same thing too,
Yep.
but
We
but
all
I
do it.
tend to see it more with men from my point of view, from what I've seen in my age.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think maybe, and I'm just now thinking this, maybe that's because if a man figures you can't respect yourself, you're not going to respect him either. I don't know. That
Yeah,
was just a
period. No, no,
thought.
but I mean that's
Yeah.
the direct link. Absolutely.
Okay.
And again, the same thing, who you think of a man or woman who, you don't respect, right? What are you going to do with that? There's nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. Like you don't
Yeah.
listen to them, you don't hear them, you don't want to help them, you're not present with them. Like, and now the reason you don't respect them could be different things. But if a person, doesn't respect themselves, I can't respect you either. Like there's something like, there's a
Right.
disconnect as far as our humanity. And so if you don't respect yourself, you're probably going to disrespect me. Not interested in that
Right.
because I'm already getting disrespected without any means, not without anybody meaning it. So if you think I'm going to be part of that at all, right? Like, so men just walk away. Not
Yeah,
interested in that.
that's it. That's it. The other thing too is people bring baggage with them in relationships,
Yes.
whether it's at
Yeah.
work or in personal relationships anyway. This is every time my mother said this to me, this is how I reacted
Yep.
because this is how she meant. So
Yep.
if you say those words to me, automatically it's, oh, well, you're just like my mother. She always
Boom.
did that to make me do what she wanted to manipulate me. And it's like, oh, where are you going with that? That wasn't the intentional, or vice versa. A girl can think that, well, woman, sorry, can think that too. Oh, well, my ex-boyfriend used to do that all to me all the time. So that must be what you're doing. So yeah, that
The
baggage
triggers,
is a
the
tough thing.
triggers. I call them the
Yeah.
triggers, and we all
Yeah,
have them, and
that's good.
they're always established in youth. At the age of 5 for most of us is when,
Yeah,
if we went love right, our consciousness and our feelings can come together at 5. Before that, we can't think. But at 5 years old, you can actually put sentences together and actually understand the world, and you can think. So when
right,
our feelings and comes with the thoughts at the age of 5, and you were born in a system where your parents were whatever, right? If you were in
right,
love, right? No daddy, bad daddy, right? Narcissistic mother, blah blah blah. We as children take that personally. If I'm not loved right, is something wrong with me?
right.
Obviously,
Yeah,
right? So we take that personally, not that our. So that's just what we love our parents, and we take that on ourselves. So come out of childhood, by the age of 7, you've proven it for 2 years that you're not lovable, you're not good enough, you're not going to amount to anything. You can't trust men, you can't trust women. The world is a terrible place. You'll never amount to anything. It's like this crazy stuff. Like one sentence in your head
right.
at 5 gets imprinted on the hard
Whether
drive.
it's true or not.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not. It's always. It's not the truth. It's a conclusion for the
there
experience of
you
their
go.
life. So
Yeah,
everyone has a different reality because of their filter. That's another filter. So whatever imprint is, the first imprint on the nervous system, emotional nervous system, like I'm not good enough, right? Or for that's for the guys. Men have this I'm
right,
not good enough thing running rampant. For the ladies, is I'm not lovable.
right,
And then by the age of 7, you've actually proven that from your awareness in your environment that obviously you're not lovable, obviously you're not good enough, obviously the world is dangerous, obviously you can't trust men, whatever. And what we do is we spend the rest of our lives proving it. So you'll
right,
attract people who will make you feel not good enough and unworthy. And that's the trauma release that we have to do that. I do with my clients because I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship until we release the baggage from the past. And it's the past like from childhood, that first imprint has to be identified and released. And then you notice that every relationship after is confirmed that first. So as you dismantle this and we dismantle these, freedom. And all of a sudden you're not driven by the triggers. You're not driven by your past. You're not driven by the injury of your dad or your mom, because it's always that, right? It's always dad to mom and son to son to mom, daughter to dad,
right,
the first love affair. So those impact the rest of your life per the dynamic you had with your opposite parent.
right,
We don't even know this. We don't know how that works. So what happens is people get in the same relationship year after year for decades, right? The same result. Keep attracting men who are not available. Keep attracting men who don't want to commit. Keep attracting women who narcissistic or um, what's the word, like entitled somehow, like daddy wasn't good enough, so now she's going to make everybody act right, like
right.
so she
Yeah.
so she finds a
And
man like
that's
her
what I was
daddy.
thinking. Now you've built this wall around you that you're going to make
Yeah.
sure that never happens to you again. So
and
now you
and
go
you'll
the opposite.
right, and you'll attract the same type person, and then you'll try to
Yeah.
fix them. That's what we do.
Oh,
we
yeah.
attract we
Oh,
attract our
interesting.
yeah, we attract our mothers as males, and we attract our fathers as women, right? They're same typical. They look different. Sometimes they're exactly the same, sometimes the exact opposite. But the point is they're overcalibrated, right? And then we
Right.
try to make them act right. We're trying to fix them, which is just ridiculous, right? That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But that's what we all do if you leave us alone, right? We'll just and so
Right.
that continues the loop. So all of my clients realize they're stuck in a loop, right? Like stuck in a loop of always attracting the same stuff
Yeah.
and
How come I always
believing.
attract the wrong
Right.
guys? It's like,
And
well,
well,
what
but it's
to go
worse than that.
after?
It's it,
Yeah.
it's for me. It's worse than that. It's like the belief that like if you keep attracting men who are not available, you think that's men, and you'll say men are all.
Yeah.
They
When
always,
you're
they
not.
never. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's what
Yeah.
you're attracting. That's not, but that's your history. That's your experience. And the moment you attach to now, you make a conclusion, confirm after 25 years that men are not available. They don't care. They're not loving or kind. They, you know, that's they're done because that, your nervous
Yeah.
system and your subconscious will confirm and agree with you with whatever you decide.
Yeah.
Men are all crap. There you go. It will just
Yeah.
show you only that, right? Like you don't see the good guys. You walk right by them. They don't exist. They're invisible to you, and vice versa, right? Like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's really psychologically so simple. But if it's not decoded, it drives you into the ground.
Yeah.
And, and midlife, and I find it terrible because I hear this all the time, like midlife. People will say stuff like, well, I guess I wasn't meant to be married. I guess I wasn't meant to be happy. I guess I wasn't meant to be in relationships. Like, no, no, it's your past that's
Or
driving you.
the worst one, I guess I was never meant to be loved. I think
Yeah, no,
that's the saddest one I've ever heard.
totally,
Yeah.
right? But women will believe that per not being loved right as a child and keep attracting the wrong type men, and they think that's men. I think that's their law. I had one of my ladies to talk to me one time. She didn't become a client, but she's 42 years old, absolutely lovely, right? But again, bad stuff with her dad from childhood. She just thought she'd forgot all about it and moved on. But she was impossible for her to get in relationships. She was masculine because of the lack of father energy. So she kind of grew into her masculine to protect herself. That's nature. That's a mechanism. So, and it's always that, right? It turns us inside out. So women become more too masculine, and it's not working in relationships, later on in life. And men that are being damaged or too feminine, it's the same thing. It doesn't work at all. So
Right.
anyway, this poor young lady, lovely woman, and she said to me like, well, maybe just some of us aren't supposed to be happy and have relationships. And I just died with her that day. I just died. Like, I'm like, honey, you don't know. That's your history talking, right?
Yeah.
There's no, there are men everywhere. There are good guys everywhere. All, you know what I mean? But you have to clean yourself up to be able for them to see you and show up in a different energy and actually attract the ones who will provide, protect, cherish, give support, lead you naturally, happily, and to help you just kind of like relax into your body and feel safe because these little girls never felt safe a day in their lives, right? So
Yeah. So
sad.
I had somebody who said to me, and it's like, I don't know, it just kind of blew me away that they would say this. It's like, and I'm sorry, my brain just stopped. I really having difficulties with my brain since I got hit by the bull. So we'll go on to something else and I'll think of it later.
Yeah,
You talked about, the age of 5-year-olds and something that was said then. My best friend, when she was around 5 years old, her sister had drawn a picture of her being really fat. And from that moment on, she thought she was fat. And she always said this all growing up. I'm so fat. And it's like, you're not fat. And I could never figure out why she kept thinking she was fat. Well, as she got older in life, she finally did become overweight
yeah,
because she finally fit into the role that she thought she
yeah,
was told all of her life. I asked her one time, I says, why? And she still hadn't gained weight yet. And I asked her, I says, why do you always say you're fat? You have never been fat. And you've always said it. And she says, well, I think it's because of that picture my sister drew of me and told me how fat I was.
yep,
And I
yep.
believed her. And it's like
Uh,
so sad.
And again, it's what I mean. It's what we believe that comes to pass. I had a male client who had huge issues with women, and he did not trust women. He did not trust women. He was always on guard. And the moment something was a little weird, oh, it dumped him. So we dug in, right? We dug in. It's so simple, like so quickly too. By the way, it's easy. It's very very quick for me to decode and go right to the source of where the wheels came off.
Good.
And so get this. So this his experience, it's just crazy. It's always the same. At 5 years old, waiting for his mother to pick him up at school. It was a rainy day. It was apparently a terrible rainy day. And so he watched every kid as he's sitting against the wall waiting for his mother to pick him up. He watched every kid get picked up by their parents and leave. So he's left alone against the wall in the storm, right? Waiting for his mom. And she was 20 minutes late picking him up. Like by the time she gets there, like no one's there anymore, right? Like all the kids are gone. He was so he thought that she forgot about him. He thought she abandoned him. He thought like he went into the hole in 20 minutes. Like he just literally lost
Oh,
a sense of self. And in that very moment, he made the decision, you can't trust women.
oh, wow.
Crazy stuff, right? Like that was the moment
Yeah.
that did it. Like a simple, like, like she was late. There could have been any reason why she was late, traffic, whatever. But it's what he
Yeah.
concluded from his abandonment in the rain at 5 years old with everybody, and it just the impact, right? So can't trust her. He was mad at her for weeks. He said mad at her for weeks for abandoning him at school, and could not trust her, and then became not trusting of any woman, and that was wow. So we did, decoded all that, let that release, and he could actually get that trigger, right? Get disconnected, and all of a sudden you could see women for who they are, as opposed to waiting for them to betray him or abandon him or not.
Yeah. Expecting it to happen and looking for it to happen.
Well, that because that's what
Yeah.
our brain does. It wants to prove what it
Yeah.
believes, right? It
Yeah.
just so we confirm what we believe. You're not good enough. There you go. There's another one that's going to
Yeah.
treat you, and
So
so
that,
that's the tragedy.
yeah. And that proves it right there that whatever our brain is thinking, we can change and retrain our brain to think great things. We don't have to be stuck with all those thoughts we've always had all the time. We can go forward with them. Um,
And
yeah,
that's the
been doing a
work
lot of
because
mindset training, so
yeah,
that's
because
been great.
your thoughts becomes your words become your destiny, right? Like she's just like
Right,
whatever's in your head. So I always say pay attention to how you speak to yourself, what you believe, right? What you think is normal. Why do you react that way? Why do you think that way? Why do you jump to that conclusion? Oh, like you have to decode all that gently, watch
yeah,
yourself operate and go, like what's working for me, what's not working for me, like what are the false beliefs that have to be kind of released and really creating different beliefs through different habits and moving the direction you want. It's amazing work. It's simple, but if you leave us alone, we don't do it because you need somebody to help you with that. You need a
right.
practitioner. You need somebody to walk you through this. We can't do
We
it alone.
do.
This is
Yeah,
why only 5% of the people actually do the work, is because it takes courage, it takes time, it takes leaning in, it's uncomfortable, it's really,
oh
what
yeah,
I mean? And also it takes finances. You have to pay somebody to help you, but without it, you're doomed to that little voice in your head that you forgot. By the way, we typically forgot the phrase until we walk back to it.
right.
Like you don't
Yep,
remember the conclusion that you made about yourself at 5 years old. We have to go back to it and then ding, like the guy with the abandonment from his mother because she was late. Like
yeah,
he had forgot like that. He forgot the phrase until we walked back and he's like, that was it. How can I trust her? She abandoned me, and poor bastard, right? Poor little kid.
yeah.
So
But
we're
yeah,
quite a bunch of monkeys. We're quite monkeys that way. We're just much more reactive.
I think we're better than monkeys.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
know what you're saying.
a little bit, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, and you brought up something that is so true. We don't like being uncomfortable. We don't like leaving that comfort zone. We don't like leaving what's comfortable to us, what's our normal. We want to keep going back to that. So that's why we need to go to somebody like yourself who has training, who has already done it so many times for other people. You've got the experience, you've got the knowledge, you know how to help us get to where we need to be the best part of who we are, to really succeed, to have those healthy relationships. And we have to get very uncomfortable to do it. And we may not even know that there's a reason there.
Right,
Why am I having this problem? Well,
right.
I don't know. Doesn't
Yep, the
everybody
word.
have problems? Sure, everybody has problems. But are you willing to do something about it? Or you just keep going on saying, oh, it's just the way I am? It's like, no, it's the way you choose to be because you haven't chosen to do anything different about
Yep,
it.
yep.
And if you're hearing this, Andre is the person to go to do something about it. Um, it's
It is.
it's we need to
I
get
mean, it's just
comfortable.
essential, really. If again, the quality of your life depends of your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself. So if you
Yeah,
look around your life, if it's not working, right, step in. I mean, that's what,
yeah,
the people who succeed in life in every aspect typically have come from a very, very adversity, a lot of adversity, right? And they use that as jet fuel to kind of get their lives together. So I
right.
always say, what happened to you as a child is not your fault, right? You're not responsible for any of that. However, as an adult, you're completely 100% responsible to clean your stuff up,
Yeah,
get your work done. Because if you think you were born to be miserable, that is not the design. We're not born to be miserable for 100 years or 80 years or whatever and just drop dead. That's not it. So it's the choice, it's the voice in our heads, it's the belief that we carry. And again, you're right. So people will stay and keep creating the situation if they're even if they're miserable. Like you could have a miserable life and it's still more comfortable than trying to fix it and get outside of that habit. And people will stay miserable and complain about the entire life of the world as opposed to stepping in and clean that stuff up. So it's
yeah,
it's it's kind of sad. So I watch people stuck, completely stuck and unwilling to get out of that habit, because it's a habit which is comfortable, and
yes,
our human brains doesn't like change. It fears change. It makes us insecure, so we stick to what we know, and you can be miserable, but hey, it's comfortable.
yeah.
Oh God, it's terrible. So bad.
Yeah. But the good thing is, as soon as you start to change it and you tell your brain, hey, this is really fantastic, and your brain says, wow, really? Well, let's do some more of it. And you keep going on, then you've gained
It's
momentum in that. But it's just taking that first step.
yeah,
And I know that some people say, well, there's nothing wrong with me, even though deep down they know that there's
right.
a problem. And it's like, fine, talk to Andre, find out it's not you, find out it's everybody else. But, what's it going to hurt to spend a few minutes and say, well, gosh, maybe there is something there that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
And this could be the one thing. I feel sorry for that boy. I have to
yeah.
take responsibility with my ADHD. A lot of times I forgot my kids, but they knew it
Yeah.
you
Right.
know. I just wondering, boy, how bad did I damage them?
Oh,
We've talked
it's
about
crazy.
it, but it's like, yeah, cooking dinner. It's like, okay, I got to get the kids 20 minutes. Okay, I can make this part of dinner before I go get them. 45 minutes later, it's like, okay, this is done. Where's the kids? Oh, crap, I forgot to go get them.
Yep.
All right, go get them. And they're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're all hanging out together. Yeah, it's
And
like,
most kids don't have
sorry,
that
kids.
reaction, right? No, most kids don't have that reaction. His was
Yeah,
specific about a terrible
yeah.
rainy
And
day.
just one specific thing.
Boom, that was one
Like,
moment. So
yeah,
there's no way
and
to
I would almost expect my mom doesn't love me because she didn't come and get me and protect me and
totally,
take care of me
totally
with all this rain, but to say that,
can't
wow,
trust women.
that's just, yeah,
Yes, she loves me. She didn't show up. She left me behind with it, and he didn't know. But 20 minutes was an eternity at a 5-year-old.
yeah.
He really thought she's never coming.
And the mom probably didn't think much about it. It's like, I'm sorry I got
It
stuck.
was just yeah,
Me, I
yeah.
felt guilty like crazy every time I do something. I was
I've
like,
done it
what
too, by
kind
the
of
way.
mother am I?
I've done it too. I've done it too.
Yeah,
Forget my kids at school.
yeah. And but that all the times I knew they were safe.
Right.
It wasn't
But
like
no,
I
no.
ever
Listen, again, you
left
can't
them
predict
without
any of these things.
somebody.
You
Yeah.
can't predict any of this stuff. You have no idea the decisions they made out of a circumstance that literally is a moment in life that's this big, a little, like a few
Yeah.
minutes of something off, and then oh, make a conclusion out of it, right? And then becomes your track in life. It's just when I get to heaven, we have a
Sure.
conversation with God. Like this is a terrible design. Everything like this is not right. Like animals don't do this.
Yeah.
Animals don't get triggered and sort of spend their lives in triggered. You know what I mean? Animals are shaken.
Yeah.
They get
Fun.
scared, they're shaken, they're fine, right? Like so, why don't we have
Yeah.
a shaking mechanism so we can go back to normal? But we don't.
Yeah.
Bad
No,
design. Bad
that's a
design, dude. Bad design. That's not cool.
higher intelligence. But yeah, no. And sometimes oh, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. I don't know. Everything on my screen just kind of disappeared. There we are. Um, Sometimes there's something going on that the parent has going on that cannot be avoided, that the kid doesn't know about. The kid just goes, I know you did this to me. And the parent says, what are you talking about? That's when your dad fell off the ladder and I had to get him to the hospital. And you're saying that I didn't make you dinner at 5 o'clock because, you
I don't
know,
care for you. I don't
yeah,
love you. I don't care
you
for you.
know, and it's like, and it's like, oh, really? That's why you weren't there? Oh, okay. That's why we ate dinner late. Oh, well, that changes everything from the last 20 years, and you go on. So sometimes you
Yeah.
just need to talk to each other.
Yeah,
But
to a point, to a
yeah,
point. Yeah. So an injury like this still has to be released because even if you
yes,
understand it, even if you understand it as an adult, the kid is still hurt. The inner child's still damaged,
yes. I'm
and it
glad you
still
said
needs.
that.
Yeah, it's so that
Yes.
still needs to be addressed because your logic and your
Mhm.
adulthood, your adult mind will be able to go. I mean, I know women and men, and I've had the same experience where you know. It's your daddy's stuff that gets in your way of a relationship with men. Oh no, I love my dad. I go, yeah, the adult in you has learned to love your dad. The child in you has been damaged by the lack of, or right, the lack of safety, the
Right.
lack of attention, the lack of presence. So it's not, so the adult can actually see things clearly. It doesn't change the injury of the inner child. It softens it a little bit, but
Right.
you have to go clean that up because
Yeah.
it does like the inner child drives the show from now on.
Isn't that something? You wouldn't think that would be the case, but that
That's
is
what I
so
mean.
true.
That's what I mean.
The other thing I've noticed is that if someone's had a problem with a parent in childhood and they realize they've married someone just like the parent,
It's always
all
that.
of a sudden the problems they're having with this marriage is not a problem. Everything becomes that adult's, that parent's fault. Well,
Yeah,
it's that parent's fault that I'm whatever it is. And it's like, and they don't ever make or assume, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't ever take accountability for the actions that their spouse is doing.
right,
They're
right.
blaming everything on the parent. And it's like, well, that's not good either because
Yeah.
one, you're
Um,
making them pay for things that they have nothing to do with.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly. I always say if you don't clean up your stuff, you'll bleed on people who didn't hurt you.
yes, that's true
You'll
right
bleed
there.
all over people that did not hurt you. And
Yeah.
that's again another tragedy, right? Do your work, clean this stuff up. It takes it takes a lot of courage, which most people don't want to try, right? They're
Mhm.
scared. They're comfortable in their misery, honestly. And it takes time and work, and it's a little discombobulated in the beginning. Like when you clean yourself up that way, there's a part of like I've been like this my whole life, right? Now we're pulling that whole belief off, and there's a period of like, I don't know who I am until you
Yeah.
land, right? And that's part of it. This is a discomfort part of it that most people try to avoid because if I'm not this any longer, who am I? I'm not sure I want to find out.
Yeah.
This is familiar, right? So again, takes courage, takes time, takes finances a little bit, but it doesn't take 5 years. It takes a few months. And on
Yeah.
the other side, to be liberated, to now be able to live the life that you were born to live,
Oh, yeah.
how do you beat that? You can't
I,
beat
I
that.
love what you said. Born to live the life. Live the life you were born to be. Because most of us live a life we think we're supposed to be living, or we live a life that isn't what we like, but it's like, well, this is the way.
I guess that's the way
Because,
my life's supposed to be. Like that lady
yeah,
that told me,
no, yeah,
no, no, no. It's all your garbage and all the proof that you
yes,
accumulate, all the proof that you accumulate over 25, 35, 45 years about, what you deserve and who you are and how the world is. And so, make conclusion about ourselves, the world, life, and people, and just go and prove it over and over
yeah,
again. I mean, to this
think,
minute, right? So if even say,
yeah,
get this is how I explain it, like that we don't realize we're doing it. If I said to you, let me just give you my email address, it's very easy. It's oh, wait, wait, wait. No, no, I have to write it down, otherwise I'm not going to remember, right? Your brain goes, as you wish. Like you'll never remember anything because you keep saying, you know what I mean? I go, no, it's my name.com. No, no, I have to write it down. Okay, like you won't. If you don't write down, you don't remember. As you wish, right? Men are all terrible. As you wish. You can't trust women. As you wish. Relationships are difficult. As you wish. Right? So watch
Yeah.
the words that come out of your mouth. This becomes
Yeah.
everything
Words
you
have
create.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like destroying yourself. Like, so use the words to empower yourself, and if you can't, then again, do the work on man. You have to dismantle all this. If you believe that all men are toxic and dangerous and you can't trust them, it's the rest of your life. All men that you're gonna meet, half the
Yeah.
population of the planet. Really? That's how you want to live? No, that's your story, and that your story is not. It's only that your story. There's no reality. There's each of us have a reality we created per that beginning. And
Right.
man, it's tragic. It's tragic.
It is. It is. So, how do people get a hold of you?
Mm, thank you. So if anybody, and I have two gifts for you listeners as well.
Oh, awesome.
So
Yay.
if
Here we go.
thank you.
Presents all
So
around.
absolutely. Win, win, win. So if you go to my website, projectequinox.net, you can find everything you want there. And I'm linked to all social medias, so it's all on there. You Google my name, Andre Paradis or Project Equinox, you'll find everything all over the place. But I do a lot of podcasting, and we talked about this before. I do
Yeah.
podcasting because I want to spread the word. There is hope. Relationships are possible, even in this crazy modern times. We have to recalibrate what works. We have to get into the dance of relationship. Our parents and our grandparents and all the generations before us knew how to dance together because their roles were clearly defined. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
It was just the way it was, and people understood what the lane to be in, and they came together and built families and legacies. We dismantled all that as a culture. We have more choices. We have all the options. We can do anything we want. It should be better, and it's not. It's
No.
more confusing. It's more frustrating. There's more, right? So how do we learn to dance? That's my job. That's my work. There is a way, ladies, to have a healthy relationship with a man in these times. You have to watch the cultural belief, the things that you decided are right, right? Again, the thoughts in your head. If you think you can't trust men, there's your whole life right there, right? And
Yeah.
same with men the other way around. If men believe women are all crazy, because that happens a lot, right? Because you're emotional and sometimes like, how the hell? What the, right? So if you decide that, you know what I mean? Again, so that's all you're gonna see, right? Anyway, so my point is, my job is to teach this to the masses, and I do this like this on podcasts as a disruptor that I am. I'm disrupting the system that's not working. You're
Yeah.
helping to disrupt the system. Thank you for being a disruptor
Right.
along with me. Anyway, so I do 2, 3 podcasts a week, sometimes more. My point is, I notice on podcasts there's two types of listeners. So I have two gifts, and we'll let the audience qualify themselves for either or both.
There
They
you
could do
go.
both. I don't care. You could have both gifts, and so I notice that first type listener typically are people who's just kind of poking around in this, what's this masculine and feminine thing that everybody talks about? What's that? Like just sort of getting on the radar of what's all this about? Do you know what I mean? So I call them information seekers. So if you qualify yourself as an information seeker, right? This is for the ladies. I'm gonna send you directly to my email. So if you go to Andre Coaching, the number one at Gmail, just like it's spelled, Andre Coaching, COACHING, the number one at gmail.com, and in the subject box, just write Irresistible Book, and I'll send you a copy of my book called, are you ready? The Five Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible. This is my work with men. This is not me speaking again. Nothing I talk about is my opinion. It's the work, the data, the research, the masters on which shoulders I stand on. Right? Like, so this man speaking, ladies, and unbeknownst to most of you, has nothing to do with your height, your hair color, or your butt size. Like none of that is what men are really finding is irresistible. It's the energy that you bring. So I sell this on my website. Andre Coaching One at Gmail. It was Irresistible Book, and I'll send you a copy. And it's 30 pages. It's a workbook, so you have to fill it out. It's excellent. It's a gift. Information seekers, come and get it. So that's one. The second type listeners I notice are people who, and I think you've resonated with enough of what I said, right? You kind of see that, oh, wow, okay, where am I kind of disconnected that I don't realize? So anyway, if You're more of an action taker as opposed to an information seeker, right? Andre Coaching One, in the subject box, just write talk now. I'll send you a link to my calendar. You book yourself a call like you and I right now, just an hour plus call, a one-on-one. It's on me. It's my gift. And we'll talk about where you're stuck because people call when they're stuck and they realize like they can see the future, right? This doesn't change. I know where this is going. And like I said, we all get a chance to do our work. Life will show up, smack you in the face, and go, "It's not working, right? It's not working." I call it check engine light. Check engine lights flashing. Like this is the that you need to pay attention to this. So, if you're an action taker, because you've watched yourself kind of stuck in a loop, Andre Coaching One, talk now, we'll have a conversation, right? So, and again, in 15 minutes, I go right to 5-year-old, and we find out where the wheels came off because we forgot those things. And most people come at me with like, "What's wrong with me?" And I go, "Hold on, we'll go back. Nothing wrong with you. Life back then,
Yeah.
circumstances." So if you understand it's all circumstantial, which means you're not broken, that means we could fix it, release the trauma. What's the dream life? That's what we'll talk about. Like, what's the dream life? You want kids, husbands, if you're young enough? Do you want long-term companionship? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the dream life that would and I'll offer it. Like, so there's different ways to get invested and involved. Like I said, it takes courage and time, a little bit of money, but there's different ways to do this, small, medium, large, and that's without any pressure. It'll be up to you to step in and make some choices and get your life again, get yourself in line to have the life you were born to live, as opposed to being stuck in this why am I doing this and how come I can't get what I want? Anyway, so
Right.
and
I
by the
do
way,
have a question for you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, no, I was going to say that if you want both give, ask me for both give. You can, that's my direct email. Ask me a question. Tell me I'm full of crap. I'm not, right? Just come at me, right? That's my job is to really help alleviate all this misunderstanding and false beliefs. So question, please.
Yeah. So, what about PTSD? Do you work with people who have encountered that in their life? I don't know
It's
how
all
much
part of
they
it.
guys encountered.
PTSD. Yeah, no, that and actually I have a book that I use to help my clients. It's in my Bible. It's called CPTSD and how to decode, you know, the bad habits we created from the false beliefs. So it's childhood trauma is PTSD.
Right. Right.
So it just has to be released. It has to be touched and released, in order for us to stop being triggered by those events,
Right.
those false
So
beliefs.
that works for, maybe your life's been great until you had an incident that
Hmm.
happened as an adult. Now you've got
Yep.
PTSD from this incident.
Yep. But
Um,
most of the stuff that people can't wrangle or manage happened much younger. Like
okay.
over the age of 13, through puberty, past puberty, like life circumstances don't affect your brain the same way that it does when you're 5, 6, and 7 years old.
Right.
So
Totally
you could,
understand that.
if
Yeah.
you're actually healthy minded and something terrible happens to you, what typically happens, it's very interesting, is an adult brain will not go down the bunny hole of false belief to their core. So whichever get this is fascinating. If whatever level of happiness you had up till then, some terrible event will happen, it'll derail you. But the statistics are interesting. Within about 6 months, right, your happiness level will return, even if you find yourself in a wheelchair after a terrible event. Like it's just interesting. You'll go back to the wiring we had as an adult. It's the childhood stuff that we are blind to that drives us, that makes us crazy, and we don't know why. And we take it personal. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. Good
Yes.
question.
Thank you
Good
so
question.
much for coming back on my show and
Absolutely.
making sure I recorded it this time.
It happens.
And be sure and get his books, one or the other or both of them. But definitely book a call with Andre. He's well, you saw how easy it was to talk today. And thank you so much for sitting on my front porch today, Andre. And we'll see
Absolutely.
you and our audience on the next
Wait,
Listen
don't
on the
go.
Front
There's
Porch.
something special happening.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, then join Andre and I live for personal Q&A on Friday, August 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific time, and you can join us on Zoom, but you don't have to be on camera. You can black out your screen and ask the questions. And if you can't be here for the live event, then send your questions to team@wisdomonthefrontporch.com and we'll answer it on the live show. And we'll send you the replay to your email. So make sure you enter your email correctly. Thank you, my Front Porch friends and neighbors, for pulling up a chair with me and my guest today on Wisdom on the Front Porch. Now, if you've got value from this conversation, would you do me a favor? Leave a quick review, then share it with someone you know who could use some inspiration. It helps more friends find their seat on the porch. And hey, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss what's next. Until then, keep the porch light on for new wisdom every time you show up. Your seat's always here for you on the porch. Wait, don't go. There's something special happening.